Welcome to Patscast, the unofficial Regina Pats podcast. We are a proud member of the Saskatchewan Podcast Network. I'm Matt.
I'm Chris.
And this is our episode for January 27th, 2020.
Pats with a drop. They're in. Here's Robbie. Holds it. He scores. What a move. Cuts in front. Snaps home as 18. The Dubinsky skating left wing side. Got a lane. Shoots and scores. Cole Dubinsky wins it in overtime. Rick wrist shot blocker. Save for Buskey. Rebound. What a save for Buskey coming across on Tristan Robbins. Looked like he had a sure goal with an open net. But Buskey got over to his right, made a great save.
Okay, thanks everyone for listening, watching, or connecting in live via Twitter, YouTube, or Facebook. And of course, replays are available on each of those platforms or through your favorite podcast app. Remember to follow us on Twitter or Instagram at WHL Patscast and interact with us there. And of course, we do have the live chat working. So if you are watching live, you can interact through Twitter, I think, is the best platform to do that through. And we will now be able to see your comments and respond to them accordingly. So, Chris, we have just actually not a whole lot this week to talk about. 2 games have come and gone, and only one coming up. So, after a bit of a busy start of the month in January, it's kind of slowing down here for us.
Yeah, and then look, it picks up a bit there in February, but yeah, it's a nice little break here, and one of the interviews even alludes to that break they got coming up as well. Yeah, it was the big road trip. I think guys are just happy to be back and in their own beds.
Rest. We took a bit of the injury bug bite there on our road trip, and just some unlucky things like Englot getting appendicitis. Walker's out for a while. Mackay Mitchell's going to be out for a while. Who else is banged up? Anyone else? Whitting got sick.
Yeah,
so
he was sick.
It's a due time for a nice little time to recover. Get some practices in. And
yeah, you got some more guys. Well, guys were in, guys are out now. So it's a little bit of a fluid here roster. But
yeah, calling up these young guys, and which all in all was kind of nice in a sense to see them play. I guess we can start with the Lethbridge game. We had, who was it? Reed. I think Reed said it was the most excited he had been for a game in a while, just based on some of the call-ups.
Yeah, and they got quite a bit of ice. Armstrong, he was noticeable out there,
Absolutely.
And, he was out there. He was blocking shots. He was crashing and banging. It's like he was making his presence known, which was good.
And Parker Berg against Lethbridge, I thought, played exceptionally well for what you'd expect.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
And then he even translated that into the Saskatoon game. I know you didn't catch most of it.
Yes, it was my son's 3rd birthday. I had a few more pressing necessities that night, so unfortunately didn't get to that game.
Yeah, and unfortunately I wasn't there live. I couldn't make it, so I had to catch the game at home after.
Yeah.
But he looked really good, and he got lots of ice because of the Whitting sickness.
Well, running that game with 5D, going into that game
with 5D.
My in-laws billet a blade, so there was a bit of trash talk going on there, and I wasn't really willing to make a huge bet on it because I wasn't too sure, playing those young guys, 5D men, 13 forwards, still maybe not a proven goaltender yet. I wasn't willing to bet the farm on that one,
but I did say last week, we can get a point.
Yeah, you did, absolutely.
Maybe 2. So
you sure did. You picked that Saskatoon game as a possible point getter. But back to the Lethbridge game. Actually, I kind of had fun at that game. I'm not going to lie. I think just watching those good players out of Lethbridge Cousins in particular, absolutely on a different level.
Yeah, like that first goal a minute in, like that shot is unreal.
His coil and then release, it is beautiful. I was just in awe watching him play. So even though we got shellacked, both seeing our young players play, I think, not bad for really the competition they were playing, and then seeing Cousins, Ocular, and Addison all play was just
Yeah.
it was enjoyable. I mean, we got beat, but
No, it was good to see some good
That's-
talent out there.
it's
right?
just being a junior hockey fan. I think.
And Addison, man, he played like every other shift.
He
I
was
bet
out
you
there
had
a lot.
30+ minutes. Even in the third period, he was still every second shift. I mean, he probably
Yeah.
could have shut it down a bit there, but he was still winding up, going around the net,
Yeah.
driving the play. Yeah, he looked good out there.
Uh,
And Cousins,
Uh,
his
they're gonna
shot
be-
is.
They're going to be a decent team, and it's going to be a
Yeah.
good stretch here in the WHL. I think it's better than I think it was last year. You've got
I think it's a little more balanced. Like we said, there's not that one team just running away with it. There's parity almost.
and then I realized how disappointing last year was too. Right, you had this same team plus you had some better players, and we can look back at their goaltending, which kind of had a short end of the stick there, kind of
Yeah.
a rough go. But boy, if they would have had a solid goaltender going into playoffs last year, I think it would have been a different outcome. For
Yeah.
them. I think they're right to be disappointed about that.
Yeah, and
last year.
even if Tedachuk was this year's Tedachuk, a year older, just
Yeah, and seems to be
he's got that
looking better.
he's got that experience now. He
Yeah.
was 17. He was kind of thrown in the fire for that playoff drive, stretch run playoff drive, and it kind of maybe didn't hurt him. Like we watched some of the games, and
Yeah.
being in that other building too didn't help. And
Well, we kind of got on the Kane train last year, right?
yeah, obviously, and
Yeah.
so, but yeah, it's a little disappointing that they didn't do better last year, but they have a chance this year. But I mean, Medicine Hat and Edmonton are both looking good as well.
Oh,
so
yeah, it's going to be a good stretch and some good playoffs. I'm excited to watch that. We'll
'Cause you
definitely
look-
have to get the
you look at
package
those
this year.
three, and then you look at the East. You got Brandon, Winnipeg, PA, and
Yep.
Saskatoon. So
Yep.
there's 7 teams. Any 7 of those teams could win the East.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah, I know it's going to be awesome. So anyways, yeah, I actually had fun at that game. I wasn't really disappointed leaving it. It was nice to see our guys and nice to see some really good examples of junior hockey. So you have some interviews after that game, or was that
So I wasn't able to do interviews after that game. I had my own game
Oh yeah.
that night.
Yeah.
But talk about a crappy team. Man, we're on a 16-game losing streak. It's a rough one. So
So the Adult Safe podcast might not be too interesting.
yeah, nobody wants to come watch us play. That's for sure. But yeah, I did get Strush's pre-game Saskatoon interview. So that's he talks about Lethbridge and all that, and then he goes into talking about the young guys and
Okay, sure. Let's listen to that then. So this is Strush pre-Saskatoon game.
I didn't like it. We as a staff, as an organization, should be disappointed and embarrassed. It's family weekend, all the parents in town. It wasn't a good night for us, and it's not too often we have those nights. It's unfortunate that happened at this time. Obviously, there's a number of things you can use as excuses, but we were depleted lineup, different things like that. But the players on the ice, they're here for a reason, and they need to play better. They all did a good job. I mean, against a really good team. We're not taking anything away from Lethbridge. They've got a good team. They've got some high-end players that were obviously at the top of their game. Those 3 guys did a good job. I mean, obviously with Cole, he's a little bit older, but Armstrong and Berg did a tremendous job. They got good minutes. Both played 10+ minutes. They looked good. I mean, they looked smart. They looked poised. And they obviously made mistakes, but they, coming from where they did, the experience that they got against a real good team, I thought they did a good job.
Easton wasn't scared, was he? I mean, he goes out there, he hits guys. I mean, that's pretty awesome to see.
Hits guys, blocks shots. Wasn't afraid to carry the puck. Those are things that we want from those guys, and it's just a matter of time before they get into the lineup full time and have an impact on our game.
I actually really liked the Armstrong. Was it Stanek? Who was all on that line? And then Messier?
no. Who was on that line?
Messier's out.
Yeah,
I
I can't remember who was on that.
Sanders.
Sanders?
Yeah.
Was he? Okay.
Yeah, I was getting them confused. But
Yeah.
They were out there grinding. They were playing good fourth line sort of style, right? Just getting in there and getting dirty, which is awesome for some young guys. So, yeah, Easton looked. He was fine out there. I was happy to see that.
Against a good team too,
Yeah,
right?
well, yeah, like Stu said, I mean, some high quality competition there. So, good
Yeah,
for him.
and like we noticed Berg making a play here, play there. Like he
Yeah.
wasn't afraid to make a
He
play.
wasn't just taking the puck and rimming it off the boards and out, right? Like
Yeah.
he took a second to look, do a little move, and we saw a couple. There was an instance where I think he deked a guy and then even played it off the boards to himself, and nice little moves. And yeah, like it's just some nice little things like that. Some things looking forward to the future.
Yeah, and it's good to see them get some experience here, get them a taste of the game, the speed of the game, so they know what to expect when they come next year. Because
Yeah,
you think Armstrong's going to be a lock, not a lock, but it'd be surprised if he doesn't make
Should
this
be.
team next year,
Should be.
right?
Yeah, I would think so.
D, we have quite a few returning D, so Berg may not be here next year.
Who knows? Yeah,
But
depending
see
on
what happens.
injuries or whatever guys choose. Did you
Yeah.
see the comments that after warm-ups, Armstrong fired one into Lethbridge's net?
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
I didn't see anyone confirm that or anything, but I think that's still like a aggressive kind of chachi move. So
Especially for a guy in his first game.
first WHL game, I'm just gonna fire this into their net.
I
As
did see
Dylan
that, yes.
Cousins is maybe watching. Yeah, interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't see it, but I heard a few people talk about it, so that was funny. Okay, and then into Saskatoon. Yeah, the first time playing them this year, kind of odd. It's been this late, but so they're going into it. Like I said, wasn't totally confident. 5D, a couple of them younger, 13 forwards. But the one thing was Nolan Meyer was out.
He's been out for a while.
Yeah, I don't know if it's an injury. It must be if it's going to be that long and for how long he's been out. But I thought that might be our saving grace. And like I said, I didn't get to watch the game, but you can tell me, at least from the highlights, the goals were kind of like highlight goals.
Well, I know it.
It was
Yeah.
not Pat's goals.
Well, the goalie was down and out like on the
That's-
Holmes and Crane goal.
Yeah,
he just went down so early. They made a little move and he was laying on the ice, and it's like, okay, Holmes had the whole net to push the puck
Holmes
into.
had the whole, like, they made him look really good in that goal. Like he just,
Yeah,
the two D-men got all bunged up, and then
he just
it was
walked
like
around.
a winger and a D, and then he just came around, and
Yeah,
the
the
goalie,
goalie
just
went
like
down.
flopped, and
Yeah.
he was like, okay, like, yeah. It made
Crane-
him look a lot better, maybe.
yeah. Crane made a nice move. He didn't have the whole net to shoot to.
A nice
into,
little
but-
nifty pass from, was that Denemy? to him?
No, that was Nyhoff. Little
Nyhoff, yeah.
through the legs.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, totally. Like, it was some highlight goal. And then we can talk about the overtime goal. You could argue it was a pick
Yeah,
play.
there's a little bit of interference there. So.
The only thing was that I was trying to explain to you was it wasn't like Setoff went purposely, skated in front of someone, stopped to allow Dubinsky to go around. It was kind of like, well, it was 3-on-3, so Setoff came from his side, kind of came into the middle, kind of dropped pass to Dubinsky, and then Setoff was just kind of on his normal.
path.
He has to go somewhere. He can't
Yeah,
just
yeah.
disappear.
Yeah.
So then he was just where he was, and it just happened to be between Dubinsky and a defender, and the defender.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It could have been called
I
interference.
can
for
see
sure.
the argument, but it wasn't like a planned pick
Yeah.
or something.
Dubinsky, when you got that cross, you kind of, when you're picking up that pass, you kind of hope that you want to skate by your own guy to hopefully get some sort of pick. Like he's not picking, but you want to skate by your D-man to hopefully, or even mix up the defenders, right? Who's got who when you cross. So
Yeah. Sorry, Matt, you just we missed your comment there. It went by real quick. Something about getting some Euros next year with Seacard, and I just saw it.
okay,
And,
yeah, Seacard, he was scratched the last 2 games.
okay.
So, but I mean, I think we talked about this before. He's probably just on a half-season tryout here because I think we'll be picking because we're
You
gonna have
think
a
so?
yeah. Because if we're 4th worst, we're gonna have a top 12 pick in the Euro draft.
Okay, so he's just maybe if he really impressed us, he would.
Yeah,
stay.
he would stick around if he really impressed us, but
Hasn't so much yet.
yeah, so it looks like he'll be back in the lineup because they sent Paulus back. I mean, another guy there, he doesn't look bad at all. He'll go back to Humboldt, get hopefully
Right,
lots of ice
for
And
next
again-
year.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, Matt, so if you want to send that again, I'll keep an eye out for it. But, yeah, and then how about Davinsky's play these last? He's kind of, he's kind of playing like maybe we expected last year and coming into this year, hoping for that little, because he has that skill and it's there, but I don't know if he's been maybe discouraged or held down or whatever it was, or didn't have that confidence, but he's been playing, he's kind of showing that fun, why he became that fan favorite for a little bit.
yeah, you can see he has a skill. You see him in the shootouts. Like
Right.
he just needs a little more ice time, I think, and maybe they're just not willing to give him as much ice. They want the older guys to have the ice.
Yeah,
But
I don't know why now.
Yeah, oh, for sure, right?
Yeah.
And, maybe some of the play of the older guys wasn't that great in the Saskatoon game. There was some poor back checks and stuff that led to Saskatoon goals. I mean, Saskatoon really pushed it in the third there
Yeah.
to tie the game
Yeah.
up. But,
So when it comes to wanting wins here and maybe not just getting experience, now correct me if I'm wrong, the bottom 3 of the league go into a lottery for
The
the
lottery,
first
yeah.
overall. So if we're 4,
we stay
and that's Saskatoon's pick. So there is some
fourth.
interest in us getting 4th. So we can stay ahead of Swift, Moose Jaw,
and PG.
and PG. And heck, we're only
Right behind
2
Red
points
Deer.
back behind Red Deer.
Yes.
So we could get up into a 5th spot.
Yeah. The same thing with last year. You just want to be out of the bottom 3.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want to give had our first last year. Saskatoon again?
Was
Did
it
we give
last
them
year?
both? I can't remember. But we just
Was it-
didn't want to be in that bottom 3, which we were. But
Right.
Winnipeg ended up winning the lottery, right? So, or
Just look-
Kootenay at that time.
Right. Yeah.
So, but I mean, it sounds like the top 3 guys are all high-end guys.
True.
It sounds like Bedard may be standing out a little more than the 2 guys, Hager and Jaeger and Height out of Saskatchewan here.
And are they all applying for exceptional status?
They
Is
all
that confirmed?
did,
or-
yes.
They did.
I mean, I can't remember who mentioned it, but they're never going to say who did officially, right? The WHL or CHL. Okay, yeah, there we go. There's, Scott corrected us there, yeah.
Every non-playoff team.
Is in the lottery, yeah.
Oh, okay. You only can move up 2 spots.
So, the third can only go to
yeah.
first.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, that
right,
makes
right.
sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So just looking, one of the things I'm just looking back at the stats from these games, like the weird thing about the Lethbridge game was their amount of shots they didn't get, which I thought was kind of amazing. I don't know if they were counting them right by the end of the first period. It was like 8-5, and they had scored a lot of goals already. So they scored 3 goals on 8 shots.
Yeah.
I think maybe it was just the quality shots they were getting. Or
Yeah.
maybe they have a bit of a mandate on pass on some of these teams. I don't know. Anything else you want to say about those 2 games?
It was nice to see them rebound from the loss to really have a good effort on Sunday. I mean, like I said, Saskatoon really pushed the pace in the third period to tie it up. But I thought it was a pretty good effort.
Did Buskey impress you this time?
Yes, Buskey did play much better.
Yeah.
I mean, Bell kind of got hung out. Not hung out to dry, but he that was a tough go against Lethbridge. I don't know. I'm not too sure why they had him in.
Questionable why you
Yeah.
start him against some of the best shooters in the league.
And Phil even alluded to that after the last game of the U.S. road trip. He even talked about Bellick maybe getting a start. And
Yeah.
I don't know if that was the right decision, but I mean, he only played the 1 period. And Buskey came in, and it didn't really stem the tide that much at all in the second and third.
No.
But
Yeah, I thought he looked good too, Matt.
So, and he got first star in that.
Yeah, good for him.
And I mean, he made some big saves. There was you watch the highlights, and they showed a couple of his saves. Like he had one rebound.
The goal tech save of the game.
Yeah, he had
was
to go all the way to
excellent.
his right.
Yeah,
There was a
yeah.
couple of those he had to make, and I mean, so he's made those, and I mean, like the goals were the goals. Like there was one as a tip and stuff like that. But I thought he rebounded well in that game. So it was.
Yeah,
Hopefully
absolutely.
we can see some consistency from him going forward. I mean, he hasn't played much. Well, I guess he has played at this level, but maybe he hasn't got the starts. Right? He hasn't.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't had a ton of game action at this level. But I don't know if you heard the interesting stat about Buskey and his record against Saskatoon.
I did. I saw
Oh,
that.
you
Yeah.
did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks to
That's-
Scott. I think he quoted Phil.
Yeah,
that
he was on the
he's
post
4-0 against the
Yeah.
Blades. Yeah.
Little nugget of information
Interesting.
there. Yeah.
Speaking of interesting and trivia, so Larry Walker being inducted to the Baseball Hall of Fame, of course, his illustrious Pats career. So he was a prospect and he was a goaltender.
Yeah.
And got cut.
Twice.
So he's would you call that a multi-sport athlete?
Sure.
Sure.
I don't know.
So I looked up the best multi-sport athlete. Now you probably have an idea who it is.
But
It's
that's
not.
not that, right?
It's not. So I will let you know who it is after this. The Saskatchewan Podcast Network is supported by Connexus. Wellness, however you define it, is achievable. You don't even need to figure it out all yourself. Talk to Connexus. They'll give you guidance, motivation, and the push you need to reach your goals. They've got you. They're your financial partner, and they know how you can achieve your very best, your financial best. Prove them right. Start right at Connexus Credit Union.
Okay, before you tell me. So obviously Bo Jackson's the first one that's steps
That comes
up.
to everyone's mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then there's Deion Sanders,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I'm thinking this is gonna be off the wall, kind of like two odd sports, maybe like
It
Olympic
is a little
sports.
bit. And it's from
What's the
kind of before the
era?
modern era.
Oh, okay.
But I consulted a few lists just to make sure, and they seem to have a consensus on this.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, you're looking at Bo Jackson, who I think if he would have stayed healthy,
yeah,
could have been.
really good.
I think he had the physical ability to be
Yeah.
able to do this. Right? You
Yeah.
look at him. He beat out Marcus Allen for the starting spot with the Raiders. But it seemed like baseball was more his statistical better sport.
Like I just seen a video of him on Twitter. Like he gunned this guy out.
Yeah, I just saw that one
left,
too. Yeah.
From left field all the way to first base.
yeah, like,
yeah.
and then the first baseman's just like,
casually
that's
just
how it
cut him.
happens
Yeah.
here, you sucker. So yeah, I think he's a physical specimen, but just didn't have the longevity or the stats. Deion Sanders is regarded as, some people say he's one of the best athletes.
Athlete. Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Just-
he could have played any.
Yeah.
There goes another comment. Man,
You got to keep an eye on it. Yeah.
It just disappeared. They're quick. They're not there long.
Yeah. You keep an eye on that. I'll read this. So
Okay.
the best multi-sport athlete, according to a few lists, is Jim Thorpe.
Oh.
So he's from the early 1900s. He played baseball, basketball, football, track and field, but even more notably, ballroom dancing.
Oh.
So he was really quite well diverse here. So he let's look at some of his stats here. He won the 1912 Intercollegiate Ballroom Dancing Championship. He won the 1912 gold medal in the pentathlon and decathlon. And he played both professional football, baseball for over 15 seasons. He was what else? Not as successful in baseball, but in the NFL, he was in the NFL, and he was named first all NFL team, and then became the first president of what would become the NFL. So he was also of Native American descent, Indian American they call it. So probably had a few extra hurdles to jump there. So he was relegated to his reservation
Oh.
while he was
interesting.
able to play for Carlisle School in NCAA. So he probably had a few extra things stacked against him there, and still
Yeah.
had some great success. So
And there's a college football award named after him. The
there
Jim
is
Thorpe
too.
Award. Yeah.
Yes. And what does that recognize?
I just had to look it up because I wasn't sure. It's the top defensive back in the NCAA.
Okay. Yeah. So I thought, for sure, Bo Jackson. He's not on the top of these lists. And a lot of the lists I went through, basketball and football seem to be very
Common.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can do that, or baseball,
Yeah.
especially with quarterbacks. John Elway.
Yeah, baseball, football, quarterbacks, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you see lots of guys getting drafted in MLB, but they play NCAA football, and they kind of got to decide. You look at Kyler Murray, right? He was drafted by the A's. He signed a signing bonus. He had to pay it back when he decided to play football and go into the NFL draft. So, but his NFL money was more than his baseball money, so that wasn't too difficult.
I think Patrick Mahomes is drafted by someone.
Okay. Yes,
Tigers.
Tigers. Yeah, because it said
What was this?
the tweet. The tweet was
about it?
like, "Oh, the Detroit Tigers have more quarterbacks in the Super Bowl
Yeah.
than the Detroit Lions do."
That's what it was. Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
The Lions suck.
Well, even Herbert, Justin Herbert. There, he guys wanted to draft him because he threw 95, 96.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So, but he decided to choose
These
football.
guys you love to hate. Eh?
Yeah.
Who's your pick for the Super Bowl?
I got to go Chiefs, I think.
So I'm a Seahawks fan.
Yeah,
so I
you're
cheer
not going
for
to pick the
two
pick
teams.
the 49ers.
I cheer for two teams: the Seahawks and whoever's playing
the 49ers.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think their offense. I mean, they got a great defense, but I don't think their offense can keep.
You might have to pass more than 8 times.
Yeah, exactly. You
in
can't
the
just
Super
run the
Bowl.
ball. Like,
it's worked this far, so who knows?
it is. Yeah, you can't blame them for
As
getting
long
to
as
the
it's
Super
not
Bowl.
super boring. Remember last year was boring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, hopefully,
don't-
what else might not be boring is the Victoria's rolling into town on Friday. So that's the only game this week, actually, is this Friday game against Victoria. Victoria made some moves at the deadline. They
made the big move.
probably would you say the big? Yeah, probably the biggest move.
Yeah, the biggest name, right?
They picked up Tracy out of Moose Jaw. That came with, I don't know if it was a toss-in or not, Evanhoff, who, I don't know, I wouldn't hang my hat on him personally.
Well,
maybe it's just because he's on Moose Jaw.
Yeah, but he had that hip surgery before the season, right? And he had the late start.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they have a 20-year-old goalie this year, so they're probably looking for somebody for next year.
Okay. So that wasn't part of their run. Well, the whole team really is Tracy. How old's Tracy?
18. And I don't know Evanoff if he's 19 this year.
Okay. Well, Tracy. I mean,
Tracy
that's
will
not
be back
even
next
just
year.
that's not even just a rental.
No, he's
Yeah.
back next
That's
year.
a fairly decent move then.
Well,
yeah.
unless he makes the Ducks, which is I highly doubt that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's back next year.
Okay. That's not a bad
Yeah.
move then.
No, because if the team is good next year, well, then you got Tracy. Great.
Yeah.
And if the team isn't good, well, then you can move him
Yeah, and get your assets back.
and get some back. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So a decent team there. They've been struggling a little bit as of late. They're on they'll be on their road trip, kind of near the end of it. I think they play kind of an ugly schedule, actually. They play Saskatoon tomorrow, I think it is, and then PA Wednesday, and then they're here Friday, and then Moose Jaw Saturday. So
Ooh, that's a 4 and
bit
5.
a bit of a tough. We did something similar, but
Yeah.
so they'll maybe be a little bit fatigued. We'll see. And they've been struggling a little bit lately, maybe just trying to gel up a little bit. They also got Gary Hayden out there.
Yeah, he picked him up at the start of the year there from Saskatoon.
Yeah. So they have a decent team on paper at this time. Maybe just taking a little while to come together, but
I mean, second in the division, they're ahead of Kamloops, just behind Kelowna, or ahead of Kelowna,
opposite,
behind Kamloops.
Yeah.
So they're keeping Kelowna down.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we said, Kamloops is the kind of that top tier.
Yeah, they certainly are
team
moving up
And
there.
Victoria.
Yeah.
So Victoria's kind of that second tier behind them. But yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Like we said, even like the East, the West is kind of wide open a bit.
Yeah, lots can happen there.
Yeah, like Portland, Everett, Spokane, any of those teams, and then you look at Kamloops, Victoria, they're both right there, and then Vancouver, Kelowna just kind of a step behind. I don't know what Vancouver's gonna do. Are they gonna make a run here or what? Like, I'm kind of confused by them. But
Yeah. Do you like Victoria's sweaters?
yes,
You do. That might be the one we agree on.
do you like both?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, I do like.
I like the bigger one better.
the face,
Yeah.
forward-facing face.
Yeah.
Of the lion.
Yeah.
But okay, so take a guess what their mascot is. Like, I don't understand what, like.
Oh, I know it isn't relevant
I know it's totally like out of there.
because it should be a lion.
Yes, like I
Right?
don't understand why it's not a lion.
What is it?
It's a marmot.
Oh, what?
I
I didn't know
know.
that.
I
A
know.
marmot. That doesn't make any sense.
None whatsoever.
They must have just went to the mascot store and they're like, "What do you have?" And they're like, "Well, we don't have a lion. How about a marmot?"
We got a marmot here in the discount bin.
Exactly.
Like,
That's funny.
so speaking of that, Buffalo Sabres,
Okay.
they have a tiger as a mascot.
Have they always had that?
I have no idea. I just saw that today, and I was just like, what? Why is it a tiger?
Like, so the Oil Kings they have a bear, don't they? Or they have a
Oil Kings. Yeah, I can't remember what
they
Oil
s-
Kings.
oh,
I just seen Buffalo Sabres have a tiger as a mascot.
that's
I was
silly.
confused. So, but yeah, a marmot. So Victoria has a marmot.
New segment. Mascot talk. That's good.
Yeah, we could get in the whole gritty thing too. The whole
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
But that was
Is he in
interesting.
trouble for
I
that,
don't know.
or
I don't know if
someone
it's-
just trying to make a buck?
Yeah, I don't know because it's not like the person they. Whenever they talk about the incident, they say Gritty did it, not
I know.
not
That's the thing.
Joe
they're like,
John Smith,
Yeah, like Gritty's gonna
aka
be
Gritty. Yeah.
liable for this.
So he goes into court in his costume, but
I know.
Gritty
like, the
touched
news,
me or
the
hit
news
me.
is Gritty though. It's
Yeah, I
like,
know. It's
Stop
not-
talking about Gritty like he's a actual
Yeah, I know.
person.
It's not John Smith, aka the
Yeah.
Gritty guy. But
That's
yeah.
one thing. It's so secretive about who
Yeah.
does these mascots. Like, I have no idea who's Canine.
Yeah.
I have no idea who's Gainer. I don't know if it's the same person all the time or anything. And
The old guy was doing K9, right? There was
I have
a
no idea.
whole big Leader Post article on him not too long ago because he'd been doing it for so long.
oh, okay.
He was an old guy, so I don't know if he's moved on. I didn't want to say passed on, but he is quite old. So I don't know if he's moved on from the role or not, moved on to somebody else. But
Maybe I could just want to keep that mystery alive
yeah,
and not know. I'm sure when you're down there, you could see.
oh,
and
I
find out.
I
and
don't see. I haven't
He
seen
just
that,
goes
no.
into his room and
Yeah, I guess so. I
never
have no idea.
never see someone else come out the other end.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, just Victoria in this week. I don't know. I think with their maybe they'll be tired. We could maybe take them for a surprise. Depends how we play, of course. Are we expecting any of those injuries back?
We'll see tomorrow. We'll see Tuesday.
Right.
But I don't
Tuesday
think
injury report.
Walker was upgraded from 1 to 2 weeks to 3 to 4 weeks, so that's not good.
Yeah.
Who else was there? I'm trying to think off the top of my head, but Seacart will probably draw back in with Paulus gone.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what else? Then we got
Is I wonder how Englot's.
I don't know if he's gonna be back. So if he's back too, then it's gonna
Appy.
be maybe Sanders, Seacart, kind of the healthy scratch.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see what happens. Actually, I think there was an injury
You
update.
think Matt? You think he's gonna be back? It didn't sound like it from the report.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Okay, so Friday night, the Lethbridge media notes, it has Cole Carrier upper body indefinite, but he played. So
Yeah.
you can't
Yeah.
go off this. But yeah, Walker is 3 to 4 weeks, and that's
Phil-
it. It doesn't even list Englot on here.
So apparently Phil said Walker was skating. Well, I think there's a far cry from skating to
Playing.
game ready.
Yeah.
But who knows? I mean, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Well, with the D, they sent Berg back.
Armstrong played good. We were impressed with his really just getting in there, getting gritty. So that was a question on Twitter for anyone that's listening.
Yeah, kind of.
Live question came in.
He didn't play a ton in the Saskatoon game, but he played quite a bit against Lethbridge, and they had the extra forward in against Saskatoon, so he didn't play quite as much.
Yeah, totally happy with both the new guys that played, and we get to see Marcus Taylor again. It sounds like that's
So they sent Bird back, and Taylor's coming here, so he'll get some action by the looks of it.
Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about?
Not really. I don't know if you want to do interviews from Saskatoon game. Hear from Busky.
Sure. Yeah. You know what? Let's listen to Busky. He.
We haven't heard from him yet. So.
First star, which was kind of nice to get maybe some confidence going for him, and kind of living in a bit of a shadow right now. I think so. Needs to step out from that. No, Easton was sent back today. To our Twitter question there. Okay, let's start that.
Yeah, we played a great game tonight from the puck drop right till the end in overtime there. The boys did a great job. I think we all gave everything we had, so it's nice to get rewarded for that, especially with our parents in town here. Yeah, they had a good power play. They really used that to their advantage, and in the third there, they came out really hard. They were definitely not going down easy, and it's nice that we were able to match that and pull out the win. It did. It really did. We had a good practice yesterday. I knew we were all disappointed with how Friday went, and we wanted to end this weekend on a good note, and I'm really happy with how we all came out and really showed our best tonight. Yeah, for sure. It feels good to get a win. Of course, that's our goal every night, and it's nice to kind of settle in there and feel like I kind of showed my best self tonight. So I'm happy with that for sure. Yeah, we're really looking forward to a couple of days off and then some solid days of practice to work out the kinks. But I'd say the boys definitely deserve a rest now. You're right, we've had a very busy month, so it's going to be nice to enjoy some time away from the rink and then get right back to work.
Yeah, good for him. You know, we kind of maybe talk about Max and how much we miss him, but there's another guy there, and he's trying to step up and fill that void, and give him credit for that. And that's big shoes to fill.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And Matt, just before that interview, Matt commented 3 to 4 weeks and he's back skating, so it could be shorter, but yeah, who knows. It's a knee though. Knees are kind of tricky, and I don't know if you saw the McDavid kind of special before the All-Star game.
I didn't. I heard about it though.
They went through all his rehab and what he had to do to get back from his knee injury, so he didn't have to do surgery. It was quite the involvement. I kind of just had it on. I didn't really sit down and watch it, but it was quite interesting.
Yeah,
so,
and the
knees are
the information we get isn't.
Yeah, I mean, we have no idea. Right?
Yeah, it's not like the NFL where there's a lot of money riding on some of the injury reports, and they get huge fines if they don't supply the information accurately. So, any update on Mitchell's injury? I don't know. From my experience, if it's as bad as it sounds, he may come back, but he'll be wearing a full cage. Maybe come back, but you got to look at it like it's pretty much the end of January. There's only like 6 or 7 weeks, so
6 weeks,
maybe like I don't know. Those are pretty tough injuries, and you don't want to screw around too much with that.
Because they listed as indefinite on the injury report. From Friday, so. There's a short clip of him on the highlights, because I went back and was watching the highlights. There's a short clip of him walking out on the ice when they were doing the parents' thank you.
Okay.
But it's from his right side, and I think his left side is the one that was...
poor mom seeing him like that.
Yeah, so you couldn't really see his face, his left side of his face, which is the one I think that maybe got damaged.
Busted.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, well... Coming from, I was worried about not having a lot to talk about. Now we're up to over 40 minutes. So thank you, everyone, for messaging in and giving us some topics to talk about. Much appreciated for the live broadcast. If you do want to catch us live, we usually do, today's Monday. This is a bit of a crazy weekend. Usually Sunday. You can check us out on, you can watch us on Twitter, YouTube, or Facebook. But if you want to interact, check out Twitter. That seems to be the best platform for that.
Just got to figure out how to get those comments to stay up.
I do have a way of doing that, but clearly it's not working this time. So, Massier.
Oh, Messier could be
Yeah,
back.
I mean, I could see Mitchell being back. It's just it's gonna be a bit. It's gonna be a
Yeah.
bit.
And I mean, there's no point in rushing him back for the last couple games of the season, right?
No, I don't think so.
And get some of these young guys a little bit of experience. Nothing wrong with that either.
Totally. I mean, he's a young guy that could use
No,
experience.
he
but
is. He is. I know he hasn't had much
Yeah,
experience
he's had a
this year
rough-
at all. It's been a rough season for him.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's wrap it up. Thanks again for everyone for listening. Oh, no, we got one correction here. Hurry up, Matt.
I thought he said
He's like
Messier
the correction. Yeah, Massier could be
back.
back.
They say out for season, not even indefinite.
Everyone but Massier. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
okay,
what I,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
what I was thinking.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so Mitchell could be back and everyone will be, and yeah, just maybe with full cage.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Yeah, we'll wrap it up now. Thanks, everyone. And have a good night. We'll see you at the rink.
Good night.